All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets. Uh, Head trader at TradeView. You know what? Head trader at TradeGATEHub, sponsored by TradeView Markets. Although I am an executive, a proud executive, if you will, I'm actually approaching a tenure at TradeView Markets as I did at my previous firm, which I'm just as proud of. So that's good stuff. I was doing the math the other day. When I go down, you know what? The only occupational hazard I really have is when I go down and put my head on the pillow. When I close my eyes, all the lights are blinking and flashing. You know what I mean? Hopefully in our way, but we'll move on. All right. So listen, it's Fed Day, and it is June 15th, a little after 11 Eastern, which I always try to be on time at 11 Eastern. So if ever, let me get back into the thing, and that's why we created the TradeGATEHub YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So I don't have to be redundant. Although I go over my plan on a daily basis the same, although I do tweak it. I'm not dead set in my ways. And the one thing I do not have is an ego. I'm more, like I said it 1,000 times. I don't get on here every day to learn more. I get on here every day. I get on here that I feel like I might miss something that might just put me over the edge towards where I eventually want to be. I'm never where I want to be. I always want to get better. I used to say that you're only a believer, you're only as good as your last trade, but I don't really say that anymore. I don't believe that. And my last trade, it was a winner. Doesn't mean I'm, I mean, I'm a winner. That could get this, wiped out in about an hour and 45 minutes. All right. So, let me get into how I sign into TradeGATEHub. This is our TradeView Market site. I submit my preferences. And by the way, this one little tab that we have here for TradeGATEHub opens up many login. So by the way, I log in same. It just opens up so many parallels and other different areas, if you will. So think about all this we have for this TradeGATEHub tab here, and how much the other. So fish around to the site. It's just one little key to the component of TradeView Markets. If you're on TradeGATEHub now, which I also help personally design and navigate, if you will, and I don't put my stamp on it, unless my peers and I, and obviously management agrees. So, poke around. It's a really good site. Okay. So as I said, I didn't want to be redundant because I want you to go over, this being a Wednesday, go over Monday and Tuesday's videos of, Coach does one at 9:30 Eastern. I do one, as I said, again, to be redundant, at 11 Eastern. So what was this, 4 days ago, 2 days ago, 23. So go over this, go over Monday and Tuesday. And I don't know, nobody really commented on this. I don't know if it's a fair analogy, but when you go back and you go to the YouTube channel, but that's probably even more important than what's going on real time. Because if you're not, my words my words that already had passed are already basically they're obsolete. If you missed it and you're just signing on now, what I said 10 seconds ago, you missed. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate the long and crisper. Now I need Nutella to come up. Great point, Coach. And I'm going to forget everything because you know what? A point's a point. Right? This is another thing that is upsetting me. Not another thing. You know what? I should know better. How about that? Let's put it that way. This is my new charting program. By the way, I stopped using, I changed platforms and I'm using the TradeView Markets platform. I'm not using Rhino Trader anymore. So I'm basically went a la carte. I have my Sterling order entry system. Then I'm going to have a separate charting a program, and then I'm also going to have a separate news service. So you know what? It takes it's like me literally opening up from a Walmart to a super Walmart. So it takes time, as everybody knows. The longer you go, the more I really don't like change, but I love it. I'm excited for it. It's like me. I feel rejuvenated. So bear with me with any of the specifics. Obviously, TradeGATEHub, I can go to charts here, and I do go to them here. But Coach was asking me about CRISPR, and I'm going to tell you about this one. Hold on, CRISPR. All right, now it's CRISPR. Let's go back. This is a daily, and that goes back to February. Let's go back to a weekly. Okay, let's go back to a weekly on CRISPR, and these are starting to work here. Okay. CRISPR there are a bunch of gene editing stocks under the XBI biotech umbrella, if you will. And I've said before, please do your own diligence, and I ask you to, just because of my edification. So next time I say it, I don't think anyone is doubting me. I just wanted to I want to get through the fundamentals so we can get down to the real stuff. Nutella, so it's Nutella, it's Beam, and it's CRSP, the real basic gene editing one. So here's a weekly on CRISPR. The stock, whatever it was, a week ago was 41.90. It went to 75. Let's look at a daily then, what it's done in a daily. So the 3-day down rule, by the way, it is a best of breed, and it is at least compared to the XBI, nonetheless in its gene editing area. So you can either compare CRISPR to the rest of the group or CRISPR to the XBI. Both are showing tremendous relative strength. All right, so noted. Stock went from 74 to 53. Okay, best of breed in 20 days. All right, it had some decent volume. The last day with the big volume, third day down. It's not a guaranteed theory. I do have an algorithm program for, third days down with 100, at least 150% volume. I consider a swing trade a short-term capitulation. If it's not, let me just put a side note. Usually if the third day down doesn't work, the fourth day down doesn't. It's the fifth. It goes 3rd, 5, then 7, 8. I'll do it another time. Maybe I'll do an instruction video, but I really don't want to get into the people of the art of picking bottoms, because it's a hard, I've been in it for a quarter century. I'm still trying to learn it or perfect it. All right, so CRISPR, this is what Coach said. Nice trade. And I do have it. I have a little left. The stock went from 53 to 61. Okay. Now, everybody knows that I like Nutella, which arguably, Nutella, come on here. I sold this in the 90s when it didn't show. Yeah, right around here in the 90s. Now the stock is a double base in the 40. Now I'm long it, but you know what? If you compare the chart on the 5-minute on Nutella, which only went from 37 to 40, CRISPR did way big percentage, 53 to 62. So I'm still. No, listen, Lewis asked if the Nutella and CRISPR is still there in the trade over. Okay. Now, there are three answers to that question, Lewis. You have to worry about the market in general, because it's very hard, even for these stocks or for any stock in general, to fight this overall bearish trend, except if you're in oil, which, by the way, Coach is calling today. The great call on the turn, Coach. But you know what I mean? You have to watch the overall market in general, which things may be aligning for a bounce. We'll know in about an hour and 45 minutes, which basically will set the tone for the near future. I don't think anybody here would argue with that. Secondly, you have to watch what the XBI is doing. And certainly, what is the trade over? No. What the trade taught me is that CRISPR is better than Nutella. Now, I will say something even on Nutella. And you know what? The same thing happened. You guys this is a really good lesson. Remember when you guys were, when I was long all the path like 38, I liked it like 50, and I started getting rid of it. All these stocks, JP Morgan upgraded, raising price targets. Everybody was raising price targets and couldn't believe how cheap path was. And the stock just continued to go down. So after all the good news is out, I'm saying, what is actually going to make this stock go up? If everybody's price targets are raised and everybody's all in, any slight bad news is going to bring it lower. And that's actually what happened. Now, with Nutella, I'll give you the same thing right here. Here's let me share my screen and give you an example. This is actually good trading lessons. I'll throw the fundamentals at the window. This is what the YouTube thing's for. All right. Nutella. Upcutting data was, by the way, the CRISPR data was very good. They had recent data, but Nutella, and I don't want to get into the gene editing thing. I know it's Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has a price target. They lowered their price target the other day, and Coach was asking me if Insider was buying and was working, and that's not. Neither are upgrades. And you can go by here, Beam and Nutella. As I said, those go with it. Goldman Sachs downgraded the stock from 180 to 120. The stock's freaking whatever it is, 30, 40. So hopefully FDA trial biotech. So do a little research on it. You know what I mean? Setting up for, I'm not a guy that hops on Nutella's doing everything right. They rotate. And do I think it's over? No, I don't. Obviously, what's showing its price action is CRISPR is a better buy in a dip than Nutella. But I wouldn't talk you out of Nutella at building a position, starting a position here. It's a great spec. It should be a part of your biotech, your buyer portfolio. as you see, even on the chart on the teller, pardon, it didn't have any like bad news or bad. Let me go to the daily. It just came down with the biotech market. It came down with bios. This was 33 to 24. I think that was all. I think that was the group in general for news. But listen, it's do I think no, I like it. I like it going forward. I think it's the way. No, that's the path. So Nutella, there's Nutella. I was saying it didn't really have like a bad break. It didn't have one of these breaks like BLI and just sit there at dead money until it gets another catalyst. This was a product of the market getting weaker. And I think just like CRISP, which actually had good news, this is what I want to make another point. Another point. And the theme basically the past week has been how stocks or anything is reacting to news, how it should or shouldn't be. And you know what? My boy Dan said something really relevant to CRISPR, and that was yeah, to CRISPR. Bear with me. It's also worth mentioning. I'm trying to get to my Twitter feed as fast as I can, and I'm rushing, and I shouldn't be. So Dan, my boy, I actually commented with talked to him this morning. Good dude, sharp trader. Said it perfectly. How about Nutella? Oracle trying to save the market. But I'm just, you know what? Regardless of the stock goes up, these are what are the minds of the advanced traders. This guy runs a good chat room. He says right here, Dan, this was June 13th. What's today? The 15th. You know, it's a bear market when a stock is down over 15% after showing data that can cure two devastating diseases. All right. So this is what they said about CRISPR. And CRISPR, as I said, had news. Now, Nutella didn't act as well because CRISPR, I think, was more specifically in the news. But I don't think it's over. If the market was in bullish mode, CRISPR would have been up 10 to 15%. So I don't like the fact short term, and it's also bad for the market in general. No, I don't think a full point, Rich. Apparently, Rich does at least stick with my Nutella dissertation, but I'll get on with it. Listen, I like it going forward. I'm building a position. Hold on. Bear with me. Sorry about that. The answer is no. Tony P doesn't think we're going to go a full point today. You could tell by his reaction. The answer is no. The answer is no. Do I think so? Of course, anything's possible, even in this type of market. But I I have a plan for it, but I don't think they go. I don't think they go full point. But I'm not the economist, Rich. Like I say, I'll leave that to the pros. Getting back to what we were saying this morning, because I want to wrap it up. I could give anything at any level you want this morning, but just like Larry said, and that's how I'm approaching it as well. By the way, I approach every day like a Fed day, but the SPX, and please go back to the YouTube. I'm not splitting the atom. This is data that I go by with my peers and pay good money for to relate to you for free. SPX near oversold technical levels. Hedge funds are near record low long. I've been said that's no secret. Versus the first 70-point rate hike anticipated. I get it. Into an index downtrend. Bond yields and inflation breaking out, expecting a large sharp ranges. I'm not calling a bottom, I'm not calling a top today. And you want to know why? Because this data, until the next set of data comes out of another Fed meeting, is going to dictate what's going to happen, at least, he says the next 2 days, I say even more. So, certainly you want to play lottos. It's, an hour and 24 minutes to go, or an hour 40 minutes to go, place your bets. Until that, I treat it like any Fed day. It's usually the first move is the fake move, but I'm not playing it that way. I'm going in blank. I have my levels, I have my stock selections, and that's that's all I need, just like anything else. So I am going to take note of what was strong before, because sometimes if the trend continues, those stocks that were strong before do have basically the second half of this, the second half of the second play of the day, or what we call continuation or resumption. So if I have any other questions, I'll leave it there. I mean, just You got to contribute in the room today. This is not going to be, Mike, what do you think about, this is going to be boom. I'm here for this very reason. I've had to disseminate the information and which stocks we should look at when it happens. You know what I mean? The crystal ball's in the closet. I've been through and seen enough where I can do just as good afterwards when everything takes, at least settles down a little bit, and actually waiting for my best setup. And that's how I trade best. There's a lot of different styles. That's what's best to my style. If everybody knows how I play, it's really not, I'm really not going to, I'm just not playing it that way. So as I said before, I'll let everybody go. It's 11, 20 Eastern. Have a plan. Don't go out of your comfort zones. If you don't trade, if you're not that good in fast markets, don't trade a fast market. It's certainly not the day to trade a fast market. You know what I mean? But if you're not good at it, not a lot of people are certainly without a plan. So any other questions? You guys good? All right. So I'll post the levels afterwards. I'll keep posting. We were very active this morning. I want to thank everybody, for participating. Here's the Fed rate hike guesses. Another thing is, if I can speak on a macro, even a personal level, there are a lot of wild things going on with inflation. Everybody's looking at their home prices. I go to dinner, it's 2 times. Don't let these short-term miscomings collude or pollute your direction in the market. You know what I mean? We all know inflation is here and it's not going anytime soon. It's relative. You're welcome, Rich. It's relative to where we are, and I'm not minimizing what's going on across. But short term, your job is not to be right or predict. It's to take money out of the market. I don't even know what I traded at 4 o'clock this morning, 4:30. RCL. I sold that on the open. You know what I mean? Now it's forgotten. It's done. You know what I mean? It's not what I did this morning. It's what I'm going to do and what I have my plan this afternoon. And treat it that way. All right. So thanks for everybody tuning in. I'm going to probably take Tony P, who probably wants to go out. I apologize. And then come back and start posting. And I'll have my plan just as well, but I want to hear everybody else's plan. You know what I mean? Everybody here has been getting more advanced. I'm starting to respect your opinions more and more. So please bounce something off me. I can tweak it from there. I know I'm a little rough. Maybe I'm not a rough. I'm very direct. But I'll certainly answer your question with dignity and be precise about it. So we'll leave it at that. Coach, thank you again. Great call on the crew. I have to leave that, guys. Cheers. See you after lunch. Andrea, thank you for everything. Good luck.